Elevate your hatching egg shipping business with Beyond the Egg. Discover the art of premium packaging, master the details of shipping, and create an unforgettable experience for your customers. Enhance your reputation, build lasting trust, and set your business apart as the gold standard. Visit beyondtheegg.com to begin your journey to excellence.
Hey, poultry nerds. So we're just going to jibber jabber today about why we've chosen the breeds and species that we have and how they fit into our self-sufficient lifestyle. And two different perspectives, because I have some land and Carey does all of his stuff on a smaller piece of land, which I would be guessing to say that that's probably the more norm. People on smaller pieces of land want to get started with farming. Wouldn't you say?
I mean, it's like good enough to get you hooked. It's kind of like going to the store and be like, oh, I'm just going to get a couple of chicks. It's the gateway. So you can start it on half acre, whatever. And, you'll be looking for property in a year. You'll be looking for property in a year or two.
Yeah. I started on 2 acres and it worked for, I think 2 years, maybe not quite 2 years. And then
you can do it.
We had to upgrade. We just upgraded a little. So I just started because I just wanted eggs. There was no concept of self-sufficiency or meat, or I just wanted Orpingtons and I wanted all the colors of the Orpingtons, and I just wanted to sit in the butterflies and the daisies and feed them treats and have them in my lap and stuff. And yeah, I don't do that. I did for a minute.
Couldn't imagine.
But I don't do that anymore. I used to have an Orpington. Her name was Hoppy because something was wrong with her leg. And I would take minnows out of the pond to feed her in the morning before I let everybody else out.
Nice.
So now I'm a big softie. So I wouldn't do that now. I would say, oh, you're hopping? Oh, you're going in the pot. It's a totally different perspective now.
Yeah, you're like, oh, you're hopping? Okay. Let me change your diet.
So the Orpingtons, we still eat the Orpingtons. I mean, now that so let me backtrack just a little bit. So we bought more land and we kept the Orpingtons, but then I went up to the standard bred versus the hatchery because they're much bigger. And you have to grow out a bunch of them to see which ones you want to keep. And then you're going to have that problem with, why do I have 400 grow outs? Not me or anything, but some people might have 400 grow outs. And you only want to keep like 60 or 70 through the winter. So what are you going to do with the rest of those Orpingtons?
Dinner.
It comes down to dinner.
And a lot of people think, oh, you can't cook them when they're that old. Let me tell you something. Mm-hmm. An Instapot is a homesteader's best friend.
It is.
Because you could take a 2-year-old rooster, 20 minutes in Instapot, and he is just as fresh as it can be.
You're getting me sidetracked, but you know what the best dinner when it's cold outside in the Instant Pot? Take you some big bacon potatoes and put in the bottom, and then put you a chicken on top of them. Put it in the Instant Pot for, 40-minute timer, and then go finish all your evening chores. And you have a chicken stuffed baking potato when you come in, ready for you.
I like it.
It's great.
I can go for that.
Yes. And then probably have some chicken left over for lunch tomorrow. But the Orpingtons, they make fantastic broth. They really do, because they're older and they have they've been out on pasture. Their bones are developed. So that bone broth is just out of this world for a developed bird.
It's probably richer, especially than the crap you buy at the store.
That's like water.
Yeah.
It's like chicken flavored water. Yeah. So the Orpingtons are great They taste good. They taste like chicken. But
That's
they
important.
but your feed conversion is not going to be great on them because you got to grow them out a whole lot longer, which means you got to feed them longer, which means they're expensive per pound.
Well, yeah, but the whole aspect behind this is self-sufficiency on the homestead. I mean, anybody can order some Cornish and have them shipped in.
So Cornish have their place.
They do.
I always tell people that the difference between Cornish and like Orpington or any heritage bird, your reds, is going to be like deer, venison to beef. Beef is going to be a much milder flavor than venison. They both have their place, but you have to be prepared for the flavor difference. So the Orpington,
I could definitely see where that would be important because, well, even the beef that you go to the store and buy, that's not going to be the beef roaming out in the pasture.
No, that's very mild. So we grow our own beef, and your son has his own beef. But if you harvest your beef in like May, you better like onion because that beef is going to have a really strong onion flavor.
Oh yeah. Especially if you got them in your pasture, because they're going to tear them up.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So we like to send ours late in the summer. So in Tennessee, it usually stops raining sometime in July and won't start up again till late October, November. So kind of really dry weather. And
how's that working out for you this year?
Well, David's mowing for like the 87th time this year.
Really?
So far, so good this year. But in general, we are typically in a drought right now. So I would send our steer went in the middle of July because we were prepping for a drought. And we ended up having to feed hay last year for, gosh, I think 9 months because of the drought. And hay can get expensive. So we tried to be preemptive this year, send them in early, and it's still raining. So, you just, being a farmer is a lot of guesswork sometimes.
That is definitely the truth.
Those processing dates on the beef, we have to set those up almost a year in advance here.
Yeah, because y'all don't have a whole lot. And I mean, the people that we use, we kind of get preferential a little bit because usually when we take, it's 10 to 12 head at a time. But during hunting season, he's not open to livestock, period.
Mm-mm. None of them are.
During hunting season is his bread and butter, processing deer.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, he'll go back. So, because if I need some cows ran during deer season, it does cost a little extra because it takes them about 2 days to do the deep clean required to clean everything out. But they would do it for us. Mm-hmm. But it's not, that's not something you can just do anytime.
So if you on your little plot of land, or me go back 10 years on my little plot of land and was just starting out, and what chicken would you suggest that somebody who just wanted to dip their toes into self-sufficiency, which chicken would you tell them to get?
Somebody that was wanting to dip their toes in self-sufficiency, I'd tell them to go to Tractor Supply and buy whatever the $2.99, $3.99 chicks are. Now, that's not going to give you your biggest bang for your buck. None of that. But it's going to be an inexpensive way to dip your feed. That's going to let you know if you can or have the ability to brood those birds and get them to adulthood or maturity. And if you have the internal fortitude to do the deed and process them.
That would be more of a heritage bird.
Yeah, definitely a heritage because, they're going to have like Rhode Island Reds, Black Copper Marines, whatever. It's going to be it's going to be hatchery stock. It's not going to be from a breeder. That's why I said you're not going to get the best thing out there. But I mean, you're starting out $2.99. You know, that's a different ball game.
See, I would suggest them get the Cornish, which can't they buy the Cornish at the box store?
A lot of times they do have them cheap like that.
Yeah. Cornish will get you in and out.
Quick.
And you can kind of relax and go, maybe I don't want to do this. You know,
Yeah.
Ooh, that wasn't so bad, and I want to do it again.
To get the quickest answer to your question, get some Cornish, feed them right. And 6-7 weeks, depending on which set of genetics you get, 8 at the most, you'll have your answer.
Yeah. So you just got to keep them alive, feed them right, and then process them and eat them. Now, Cornish, if you don't already know, Cornish are like what you would get at the grocery store.
Yeah.
When you buy packaged chicken or you go to Chick-fil-A, that's what you're eating is a Cornish. But when
That's
you...
so sad. Like, you really just said it about Chick-fil-A like it was nothing.
I had Chick-fil-A today.
That's God's chicken.
But if you feed them at home, especially if you have them outside in the sun shining on the grass, eating bugs occasionally because they don't move a lot, they are going to have a little bit different flavor profile.
Yeah.
You don't want to feed them onions and I don't know, like loud. You don't want to feed them a lot of loud stuff, a lot of herbs, or I don't even know. Just give them benign stuff, you know, like meat crumble, some corn. But they're still going to have a stronger flavor than what you're going to get at Walmart.
Well, you know, Rip Stalvey said it best. He said, "You are what you eat, eats."
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, like the onions, for example, if something strong like that, you know, Jennifer and I joke about marinating our chickens for a long time, but it kind of starts with that starter feed, the whole marinating process. Because, you know, when you eat a heritage bird or a bird that you fed real food to, that you know what it is, and they've had the opportunity to hit grass and eat bugs, like they have a rich flavor profile.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the first time I'd never ate a heritage turkey until this past Thanksgiving. And, you know, that bronze, he was all right, but it just wasn't his time. He wasn't lucky. And, you know, it was, you could taste the grain. Like there was no putting, we didn't even salt and pepper it.
Wasn't that one of my turkeys?
It was.
It wasn't a bronze, it was a red.
Oh, yeah, the Bourbon Red.
Yep. So that was the first time you had eaten a heritage turkey?
Mm-hmm.
Will you ever go back? No, there's no.
Like I'd done the broad-breasted black.
Mm-hmm.
I'd done those, and you know that's the broad-breasted. You get in trouble saying that too many times. But either the white ones or the black ones is what you get at the grocery store. And so for a couple of years, I'd done those, and they do taste different than what you get at the store because you don't really have to marinate them in anything. Like I ain't put nothing on them.
Mm-hmm.
But the heritage bird has it's got like the texture of the meat and stuff is different.
It's more like beef.
Yes. And like everybody liked it.
Mm-hmm.
So I will say this though, when you're cleaning everything up before you cook it, make sure you get the gizzard out.
The crop.
Clean that crop and gizzard.
People eat gizzards.
Yeah, well, they can have them. Mine's crop wasn't empty and it accidentally got cooked. And my wife gave me the god awfulest look.
Yeah.
When she said, "What is this?"
Yeah, it's still edible.
I was like, "Nothing.
It's fine.
Just a little extra grain."
Yeah.
You can get that.
It's a side of corn.
But, you know, try the Cornish and because that's going to answer your question the fastest.
Yes.
Like she said earlier. And then after that, you know, obviously I'm at a point where I decided it is what I want to do. I really like an American Bresse.
Mm-hmm.
They are the Wagyu of the chicken world. I mean, you finish them things out just like what people say or even close. That's some really good chicken.
Yeah, it's so good. We switched over, I guess, right at a year ago now. I sold my Cochins early this year to make room for the Bresse. That's how much I have decided to invest in them. So,
And that's a lot because you've had a really good line of Cochins that you won a lot of trophies with.
yeah, the new owner's very happy though. She texted me yesterday. She's like, they're doing good and they're going to the show, so they're still good. But I'm comfortable. You know, it's been a couple months now, and I'm still comfortable with my decision. I really liked them. I really enjoyed that ride with them, but I'm really excited about the Bresse. I mean, just so excited. Actually, I'm going to downsize the Orpingtons just a little bit next year to make more room for the Bresse. Yeah, don't look at me like that.
I mean, Big Mac's not in trouble, is he? Is he at risk?
Big Mac was a coach and he's gone. No, I'm just not going to hatch, the 40 plus a 0 next year with the Orpingtons.
Y'all gonna have to stay tuned. We'll see how far that lasts.
Yeah, we'll see.
Because I heard that about the ducks, but you got a lot of those.
The ducks are super useful though, and they don't eat a lot.
So that flips us to another thing about doing this on the homestead is, animals. You've got several different animals and everybody serves a purpose on your farm. So ducks, why do you have ducks?
So we have a pond, or we are working on a pond. It is no longer dry as of this year. We've maintained water right at a year now. And the duck.
Thanks to the pigs.
Yeah. See, another purposeful animal. The duck's purpose is the property that we live on was an old dairy farm. Like this whole area, as far as you could see, was a dairy farm. And it's like the flies were in the ground or something. So when we first moved here, the flies were just horrible. Like you couldn't go outside. It was horrible. You couldn't, if you opened a door, 50 came in. It was almost embarrassing, but there was nothing you could do. And so, the duck, we started noticing about 2 years ago that the flies were starting to really dissipate. And we started working on the pond, and mosquitoes were really bad because there's a low spot in the property over there. And so I started letting the ducks out and didn't sell any. And we had about 75 running the property last year. And we noticed that the mosquitoes really weren't that bad. And, we've got the 2 Mount Poopmores over there from all the quail waste. So that should be fly heaven, right?
Definitely a breeding ground for them.
That is like the golden buffet for the ducks. I mean, they just tear it up all the time. If you can't find them, you go look over there. And you can go over there. I mean, there is flies. I'm not going to say there's not. But what you would think would have 100,000 flies, because it's just a big pile of quail poo.
And look, guys, just to put it into perspective, her quail poop, like if you're a 5 foot tall person, you would look eye to eye with the top of one of Mount Poopmores.
Well, David needs to scoop it up a little bit, so it might be even taller than that now. But we were over there this morning dumping the wagon, and David's like, there's flies over here. And I looked up and I said, ducks. And here comes the Coast Guard on its way over, and I'm sure they fixed it right up. But they tear that stuff up. Keep it clean. That's their job, to keep the mosquitoes. So they're filter feeders, and they eat the mosquito larvae out of the pond, and they eat the maggots. And, we see them, they go all over the property. We see them all the way at the front fence. They come up to the house. They go under the decks. They don't go near David's shop. I'm not 100% why they don't go over there. But I'm sure he's happy about that. So the ducks, we have about 80 ducks this year running the property. And I mean, I can go outside and sit and you won't get a mosquito on you. I mean, you've been here, I don't know how many times. Have you ever got a mosquito on you?
I thought your place was about the only place in the South that did not have mosquitoes.
Mhm.
I'm not sure that I have ever seen one there.
Mm-mm. We don't have them. So that's the purpose of the ducks. We don't eat the ducks, honestly. Not that I don't like it. I do like to eat duck, but I hate cleaning them. They're just a pain to clean. And so I usually do some trading with a guy down the road. And he'll take my extra drakes and stuff. If we have a problem, if we're so
That
drake
works out.
heavy. Yeah, if we're so drake heavy that they fight, then we'll do some trading. But if everybody's getting along, which I'm pretty hen heavy this year, it should not have a problem, actually. So that's what the duck purposes is. So you want to talk about the quail?
We'll be right back.
Looking to rock some seriously comfy gear? If you love chickens and you're all about that fun style, then Chicken Box has got the perfect t-shirts for you. From quirky designs to classic looks, their shirts are as comfy as us chicken tenders deserve. They even have a subscription service so your coop doesn't get bored. Head over to PoultryNerdsPodcast.com and click on Chicken Box to get your comfy shirts and support the podcast.
Yeah, why did you go down that rabbit hole? What was the idea? Did you get into quails so you could have some eggs?
No.
Well, what was it? What is their purpose?
The quail, they just happened. Like, I woke up one day and like the barn was full of quail. There's no beginning and end to that. They just explode and they reproduce. And then all of a sudden you have thousands of quail. So when we first moved out here at a big mealworm farm. And in the move, we moved in June. And in the move, the heat killed off the mealworm farm. And a guy down the road, he stopped to introduce himself. And he said, well, would you incubate these for me? And I didn't, okay. And they were quail. And now I have quail. And that's how I got quail. And so I just really liked them. And they're super easy because you can keep them inside. They can go vertical. They're in a smaller space. You don't have to have a large amount of property to have quail. They're very versatile in how you can house them. I mean, I keep mine in a insulated barn. You know, it's easier for me that way. But if you were you keep yours in a hutch outside, so there's not a lot of cleanup, right?
So I have outside hutch that is like, I think both of them together is right at 20 feet long.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got a couple different sections. It's really nice because I don't have a whole lot of issues. Every couple of weeks, I will heavily spread lime or fly side, like I alternate the two. And I don't have any issues with flies there. And the ones that I have down in my breeder barn, I don't have issues there either. I don't know if it's like I feed a custom formula, so I don't really have any additives or fillers in there. And I think one of the things you noted in your feed study that you did a few years ago is brands that used a lot of those, their poop smelled really bad, which drew a lot of flies.
Flies are drawn to the moisture.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can keep your stuff dry, then you will dissipate your flies. So if you have, or if you are having wet manure issues in your poop trays for your quail, I would highly suggest buying some ag lime, barn lime. Just make sure it's the cheap one. It's like $4 or $5 for 50 pounds at your supply store. Might even be able to buy it at Lowe's. The one that's like $16 to $20, that's hydrated lime. You do not want that one. You want the cheap stuff.
Yep. You want the cheap stuff. The one I get from Tractor Supplies, like you said, $4 or $5. It's a brown bag, got blue writing on it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mine says slip resistant. It's like a little pellet.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mine's like little pellets or little pearly beads or something. I don't know what they are.
They're very tiny. Just, it's not like a flour, like cake flour or anything. It's got a texture to it like sand, but you can put it down. Okay, this is a good example. So last week we had one of the buttons played in their water and filled up their poop tray, and there was just no way around it. You moved that cage and water came out. There was no way around that situation. So it got all over the concrete. Now, you might consider just hosing it out or trying to sweep it and disperse it or whatever. And that's what I would have done, 5 years ago. But now what we do is we just keep our lime in, it's a little garden wheelbarrow. I don't know if wheelbarrow is the right word. It's like a little cart with 2 wheels on it. And it might be as big as like 18 inches around or something. And it will hold about 2 bags, 100 pounds of the lime. And I just keep it in a scooper. And I just wheeled that over there and just dumped lime in the puddle. And it soaks it right up, maybe 20 minutes. It's dry. And then you just sweep it up. And actually, I swept it and put it right back in the wheelbarrow. It's just going to go in, another puddle or a poop tray or something else. It's dry.
I was saying, you can use it like that. Nothing wrong with that.
No, I use so much lime. We probably go through 50 to 100 pounds a month. I use it in all the coops. I use it all over the barn, in empty stalls. It's the most, you have to have it if you're going to have animals, because it dries everything. And that's really what is the first step in keeping the flies away.
I go through 100 pounds a month easy.
Yeah, you can.
So you probably go through more.
Yeah, I really would suggest getting the slip, I think it's called anti-slip.
Yeah, it's on there. Barn lime, anti-slip, something.
Because if you have, I have a big, 5-foot fan sitting in the floor, or you use your blower to try to blow out some of the dust and stuff out of your barn. That stuff is so heavy, it won't blow. So
right,
get up in the birds' faces. If you use the one that's not pelletized, it's kind of like bread flour, cake flour consistency. It will actually lift with the blower or the fan, and it will get up in their faces, and it can cause eye issues and stuff. I've had them do that before. So buy the anti-slip barn lime. Ag lime, there's a slight difference. Somebody pointed that out to me the other day. It's a very slight difference, but all it is limestone, crushed limestone.
Yep.
Yeah.
Finally crushed limestone, but it works.
Yeah. It's completely harmless to anybody. You don't want to breathe it, so that's why I like the pelletized stuff. But as far as stepping on it, whatever, it won't burn or anything. That hydrated lime, the more expensive one, was it like $20 for 50 pounds?
Yeah.
Now that'll cause burns, acid burns.
Yeah, it's high magnesium is usually what it is.
I think they use it in concrete or something, don't they?
Yeah, what you're looking for is calcium lime, high cal lime, barn lime. The main difference is when it gets wet or moist, the magnesium-based lime gets hot, has a chemical reaction. The limestone lime
is limestone.
Gets less dusty and absorbs the moisture.
Right. And you can go more expensive and get the fancy lime with a little bit of citric acid that comes in that black bag you have to order online. Now that's
Oh,
really
you can get on the auto ship.
I've never even had any. But that's the cheap lime, plus a little squeeze of lemon or something, and sold really.
And a lot of shipping.
And yeah, it's expensive. So we try to tell you how to do this without having to spend a bunch of money on silly things. So ag lime, barn lime, that's what you want to use. So quail are good for meat and eggs in a small capacity.
Yeah.
We got sidetracked, didn't we?
Well, so like, your friend, our friend, because we're both friends with him. I won't call his name out, but he lives up north in the big city. Very, very in town life. And, he wanted meat and eggs, and he got him a garden shed and a couple of cages and put some quail in it. And now he's getting meat and the eggs. He's enjoying life. He's raising his own stuff. And it's so good for him that he's even getting haters on TikTok.
So it's funny you mentioned him. He was actually just texting me while we were talking about lime. The homesteading bug bit him hard because he texted me last week and he's like, I'm making basil salt. And I was like, okay, that sounds great. And I had to Google what basil.
I've never heard of it.
You take basil and you crunch it up and you mix it with salt and then you have to dry it in the oven. And I thought, when I watched the YouTube, I was like, why don't you just salt your fish basil on?
But, well, so I use the stuff I use is salt, pepper, and garlic. So, maybe it's the same concept as mincing up real fine your garlic and putting some salt in it and some pepper and stick it in the oven.
Like garlic salt?
I mean, maybe he likes basil. I
Well,
get it.
but that was my point. So now he has like a pot with a tomato in it and he has a pot with basil and stuff in it.
So he can grow his own.
So David calls him the concrete hillbilly. And
Okay,
so,
but let me ask you this.
yeah,
Does he have an Instapot yet?
I don't know. Did you know that he was a grill master?
I did know that. Now, I don't know how he's going to raise his own cow in his concrete jungle backyard,
Yeah.
but we probably should not talk about that a whole lot because he will try it.
Yeah, he probably would. But it's so much fun, the people that we meet doing this, and then seeing how they apply it in their spaces and just taking, 5% of something and then turning it into what works for them. Because we can tell you how to do something, but really that's just kind of how to get started, give you enough information to get started. You have to figure out how it works in your lifestyle with your space. We can't do that part for you.
No.
So,
Because, I mean, that's the way I do stuff. Like, I'm telling you what I'm telling you, hoping you learn from mistakes, because that's why I tell my kids stuff. I know a lot of ways not to do it right. This is the one way that worked really well for me. Learn from our mistakes, and it might save you some money because the lessons in life that you never forget were either very painful or very expensive.
You know what David does? He calls it the Bryant backwards. We try something and then we back up and go a different direction. But
Hey,
if
whatever
you
works,
don't
works.
try and you don't fail, then you didn't learn anything.
Well, that's all part of homesteading.
Yeah. We're forever.
So you can try it, figure it out, and do it your way.
Yes. We just want you to have the confidence to try. That's it.
Yep.
That's what we had.
So whether it's Orpingtons, Cochins, quail, Bresse, Rhode Island Reds, Bourbon Red turkeys, whatever you do, start somewhere and figure it out. And if you need help, Jennifer or Carrie at poultrynerdspodcast.com.
Yep. So I do want to add one more thing. People ask me this a ton about my ducks. I don't know. I guess I just don't think about it. But they ask me, why don't they just fly away? My ducks can't fly.
Well, so I tell people a little different story. I say, well, my chickens are like kids. You take good care of them and feed them right, and they never can't get them out.
Well, if you open the door for my turkeys, man, they'd be gone in a heartbeat. Turkeys like to wander.
That is true. They're natural foragers, which
They are.
you know, that's what you want in a heritage bird. So it turns out.
But the ducks can't fly, so they just walk around. They're the walking Coast Guard.
I have Rambo. He got out about 2 years ago now, and he don't leave.
What is
I haven't tried to catch him. It's a Rhode Island red that has these really jacked up toes that I would never in my life breed.
Mm-hmm.
But he got out, and like I've had tons of predator problems, and none of them have ever got him. So I just let him. He's like the mascot, you know. He hangs out on Game Fowl Road, and he's got a girlfriend there. There's a hen in a pen by herself, and he nests on top of it at night. They share meals together, and sometimes he poops in her water cup.
I have a crooked toe.
I move it around to the other side.
We have a hen that's probably, I don't know, 10 or 11 years old, and her name is Crooked Toe.
Yeah, like one of his toes makes a 90-degree angle. I'm pretty sure I accidentally closed it in the incubator or in the hatcher door, but I'm not taking the risk. I'm not going to breed him.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
He's living his best life.
That's right.
All right. Well, hopefully this wasn't too, like, rambly and something. I don't even know the word.
I mean, we had fun, and we hope y'all enjoyed listening to it too.
Yeah, and if you need us to ramble about anything else, by all means, let us know.
And we're on it.
All right. Have a great day.
Next time.
Thank you for joining us this week. Before you go, be sure to subscribe to our podcast so you can receive new episodes right when they are released. And they're released every week. Feel free to email us at poultrynerds@gmail.com to share your thoughts about the show. Until next time, Poultry Pals, keep clucking, keep learning, and keep it exciting. This is Carey signing off from Poultry Nerds. Feathers up, everyone.